All right, welcome back, everyone. We want to talk about the shutdown and this week's default deadline with two of our favorite political commentators. You know LZ Granderson, CNN commentator. He joins us from Chicago. And in Dallas, CNN political commentator Ben Ferguson. So I want you two to get to look at the scuffle outside the White House today. Protesters demanding that D.C. memorials be reopened. They moved some barricades and confronted police outside the White House. It got a little rowdy, but it ended peacefully. First, you, LZ. Is this where things are headed this week? Are people this upset as we head towards Thursday's default deadline?
I think it's a combination of things. I'm not really sure if you can look at this protest, which was significantly, I think the name of it was supposed to be like the Million March, Veteran March or something like that. And the numbers are significantly less than 1 million veterans, obviously. I think what you saw is some frustration coming from people that was funneled by the Tea Party. But with that being said, we shouldn't just dismiss it. I think the White House did kind of misstep. It probably should have made some concessions beforehand to make sure that this sort of optics wasn't there present to further drive home a point that the Tea Party's are trying to make about the silliness of it all. But I wouldn't look at this video, this footage here, and assume that the entire nation is ready to burn down.
Yeah, I mean, Ben, you have to be embarrassed looking at that video. You're not embarrassed for some members of your party?
Well, I don't think there was a whole lot of members of my party that were out there. You got 300+ million Americans. There are people that do things I personally wouldn't do, and I think this is a small group of people.
You don't
who
think
are
that was members of your party? Aren't you a Republican? Those were Tea Party people.
Did you see some of the people out there that had... Sir, there was people out there that had signs that said, "I'm of no party," and were saying, "Liberate America." There was some crazy nut jobs in that group. Let's be candid about it.
Who initiated this protest? It was Tea Party Republicans. Come on, Ben, cut the crap. Don't give me that.
Well, okay, cut the crap. I love how you assume that everybody that's a conservative or Tea Partier was going to be out there today. And if what you're saying is true, why wasn't there 1 million Tea Party people out there? There wasn't, because this is not the mass majority of the Tea Party. So I'd say to you, cut the crap and quit trying to label with a blanket statement.
I did not say that all of the people out there were members of the Tea Party. I said it was initiated by the Tea Party.
You said members of my party.
Yes, they were members of your party.
Did you see? Look at how few people were out there. You've got a bunch of people in this country upset, yet there were very few that were out there right now. There were very few members of the Tea Party that I would associate.
Okay, let's just say there were very few. So for the very few members of the Tea Party that are out there, you're not embarrassed by that? And second of all, it's a misplaced emotion, because the person in the White House, quite frankly, did not shut the government down. The Republican Party, Tea Party members shut the government down. If they should be putting barricades up, maybe they should be doing it in front of the Capitol.
Don, you have people that are on record that work for the Park Services that were told by their bosses to make this shutdown as painful as possible.
Oh, now you're going on to something else. Can you sit? Listen, no. Don't finish unless, stop, Ben. Unless you're going to stick to what I said. Don't take this and then turn it into something else. Stick to the question and to the subject. Hang on, Ben. I'm talking here, and then you can finish. Stick to what I said, and don't go on and talk about something else. That's what's happening in Washington. That's what's been happening this whole time. First it was health care, now it's over the budget, now it's over this.
Okay,
Can you just find one particular thing and stick to that point? So let's get back to the point. Are you embarrassed
for the members?
Barricades. Hang on, let me finish. Are you embarrassed for the members of the Tea Party who were out there on this display?
I would not have been out there taking up those barricades. I also understand why they were there taking the barricades up, because you spent more money blocking off these veterans' memorials than you ever did protecting them while they were opening. That is doing it on purpose, Don. You're a smart enough guy to know that when you spend 7 guards to go barricade a memorial that were never there when it was open, that is doing it on purpose. You know that, I know that, and they were mad about it. And as a veteran, I can understand why they'd be mad about it.
It sounds like you're making excuses, but we'll continue this on the other side of the break. I'll let you get in, LG, as well. We'll be right back. All right, so we're back now talking about the shutdown with Ben Ferguson and Elsie Granderson. Elsie, I promise I'll let you get in, but it just frustrates me so much when I hear so much rhetoric. We're talking about Thursday's debt default deadline with two of our favorite commentators here again, Elsie and then Ben Ferguson. So we're told the Senate has taken the lead now, trying to come up with a bipartisan solution that will reopen the government and avoid a default. So Ben, let's get back to these protests, though. I want you to listen to this. This is outside of the White House today, and then we can talk about it.
I call upon all of you to wage a second American nonviolent revolution, to use civil disobedience, and to demand that this president leave town, to get out, to put the Quran down, to get up off his knees, and to figuratively come up with his hands out, up.
Ben, really?
Yeah.
Really?
You found the crazy guy. Congratulations. There's 360 million Americans, and you found a crazy guy, and now you put him on national TV. Of course I don't agree with that guy. Don, seriously, did you actually think that I would sit here as a conservative and act as if in any way I agree with the ridiculousness of that guy saying Barack Obama should leave town? There are dumb, stupid people in the world. Congratulations, you just confirmed it. But it's not the majority of American conservatives or Republicans that believe what that crazy guy just said.
The people, this crazy guy, people like that crazy guy, Ben, are the reason that people are furloughed. It's the reason why there's gridlock right now. It's the reason why we have a government shutdown is because a small minority, a small faction of the Republican Party, people like that guy, are holding Americans hostage.
Do you actually believe, because I'm going to name names, do you actually believe that Ted Cruz thinks that Barack Obama should take his hand off his Koran, and you think Ted Cruz and others like him think that
you should have Ted Cruz answer that question. I'm not Ted Cruz, but I did hear Ted Cruz.
I've talked to Ted Cruz this week.
Compare the president to Satan the other day at the Value Voter Summit. So what's worse, saying that he had his hand on a Koran? There's nothing wrong with being Muslim if he did have his hand on a Koran. And number two, it's much worse to be compared to Satan than someone who is a Muslim.
Don, if I could just interject just very briefly here.
Let me say this one thing.
If I could just interject. You've said enough already, Ben. Ben, you've actually said a lot already. I just want to point out before, we leave air here that, it's important that the American people, that the viewers remember that Ronald Reagan, during his time as president, the debt ceiling was raised 18 times. And this was at a time in which poverty was at a high in this country. People were dying of AIDS, and the debt ceiling was raised 18 times. And we didn't hear any of the rhetoric that you see right now happening in the streets of Washington. The debt ceiling was raised 7 times under W. We still didn't see the Tea Party members. We're looking at raising the debt ceiling for a 4th time. I'm not done. This is a time in which we have this president here, and we're hearing how he's destroying the nation, he's driving the debt, he's doing all of these things, and he's asking for the debt ceiling to be raised for the 4th time since his presidency. The 4th time. It was raised 18 times during the Reagan administration. I'm not done.
I heard you the first time. I heard you the first time you said that, though.
Let him finish, Ben.
I let you talk. I'm going to finish making my point, and then you can go ahead and have the floor. What people must remember is that the Tea Party, there are members who certainly are concerned about the growing debt, which was supposed to be originally the reason why they came to power back in 2010. But what we have seen time and time again is hypocrisy. Hypocrisy loosely based on a multitude of factors, including fear of religion, fear of race, fear of the other, homophobia, and all these other ills that we've worked very hard in this country to get rid of. So, Ben, as you continue to try to defend every element of your party, I encourage you instead to be a surgeon and get rid of those crazy people so that we can be focused on the debt conversation and not get sidetracked. No, and not be sidetracked by all the other factors that continue to paint your party as the party of hate.
Okay, Ben, he makes a very good point. He makes a very good point. As I said in the very beginning of this, aren't you embarrassed? This makes your party look bad. He's saying the same thing. Go ahead.
All right, let's go back to what he started with, which was raising the debt ceiling. This president has never passed a budget as President of the United States of America, including when he had Republicans in charge of the House and the Senate. The reason why we're having problems with the debt ceiling now is because Barack Obama, let me finish, is because Barack Obama has never run a financially secure government under his leadership with a budget ever. The second issue is this. Let me finish. The second issue is this. Barack Obama has had the debt go up under his time in office more than all other presidents combined, including all of those raises under Reagan. He's had more debt added to our U.S. debt than all other presidents combined.
That happened?
That's a fact.
You don't understand why that happened? Oh my God!
Of course I do. When you're when you don't have a budget, you spend a ton of money.
Economic crisis since the Great Depression happened before Barack Obama.
And I have said,
I agree with you. Listen, the president has been in office 6 years now. He has to take responsibility for the economy and help get us out.
But
getting into it was not all of his fault. So you can't just make a blanket statement like that. Listen, I'm sorry. I've got to run.
Do you have a budget?
My producers are yelling at me. No, I don't have a budget. I live below my means, so I don't need a budget.
Well, you should probably get one.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, guys. I appreciate it. LZ, next time you'll get a chance to talk.
Thank you.
He is just a guy.